This courtroom moment starts off like many others, but within minutes, it turns into a powerful lesson you won't forget. A woman stands before the judge, already facing theft charges with a history that doesn't help her case. At first, things seem to go in her favor. A deal is on the table: probation, a chance to stay out of jail, and an opportunity to move forward with her life. For a moment, it looks like she's getting a second chance. But then, everything changes. The judge begins to question her background, especially her work in home health care. With her record, the concern is clear: can someone with multiple theft convictions be trusted around vulnerable people? The courtroom atmosphere tightens as the judge lays down stricter conditions, extending the probation and limiting her career options. And that's where the turning point hits. Instead of accepting the deal, she steps back. After a short break, she returns with her attorney and tries to renegotiate, hoping to protect her job and future. But in court, timing is everything, and this move backfires hard. The deal is gone. What she thought was a smart decision quickly turns into a nightmare. The court moves forward with a much harsher outcome. This time, there's no second chance. She's found guilty, sentenced to jail time, and now carries a permanent felony conviction that could follow her for life. In just a few moments, everything flipped. This case is a clear reminder: in the courtroom, one wrong move can cost you everything.
Right, state on Miss Moore.
Okay.
All right, today is the plea deadline date. Have you all reached an agreement, or is this going to jury trial?
Your Honor, we have an agreement, Your Honor.
All right, and what is that agreement?
Hey, could you repeat the agreement for the court? Put it on the record, please.
Did you reach an agreement with the state?
It was 2 years deferred education probation.
All right. So you all need to do the paperwork. So I'm going to put you in a breakout room. The coordinator will be in the breakout room with you. You all need to complete the paperwork, and we're going to take this matter up today.
Judge,
Okay.
can I take this up at a later setting and maybe a week or two?
No.
Okay.
And the reason why: it has been very difficult to have people appear in court when they're supposed to appear in court. Then when I give people a Zoom link, what ends up happening is people are still not on time. This case will be resolved today. If this case is not resolved today, then you will be in jury trial on this case next week, and everyone will be here at 9 a.m. I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2. Ms. Ferguson will meet you there. She will get your email address so this can be completed. All right, Ms. Moore, if you can unmute and show your video, please. State versus Manisha Moore. Could I have parties announced for the record?
Lauren Espinoza for the state.
Brian Bernard for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Ms. Moore?
Yes.
According to the plea, there's $1,000 fine probated, and the state is recommending deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
All right. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
What do you do?
Home health care.
I don't allow people who are on probation in my court to do home health provider. If one, your employer sends the probation a letter stating they are aware of your criminal history, and number 2, people that you're providing care for, their families send letters stating that they're aware of your current. Have any minor children?
No. Well, yeah, I have kids. I have 2 daughters,
And what are their ages?
16 and 11.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. There's $1,000 fine to be probated. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Regular random UAs. No contact with HEB in San Antonio. That's any HEB in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
Proof of employment within 45 days. No employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month for 4 months. 150 hours of community service restitution. Once parenting classes are completed, 50 hours will be deemed satisfied. The remaining 100 hours will be completed once she completes the anti-theft course. Yes, sir?
I thought the agreement called for no contact with the HEB where she was arrested, which is in San Antonio. She lives in Austin.
That's not a part of the agreement. That's outside the agreement.
So the no contact with all HEBs are outside of the agreement. That's what you're saying?
No, what I'm telling you is you didn't agree to a specific, the only thing that you've agreed to is that she has $1,000 fine that is probated and that I
Yeah.
give her deferred adjudication. Everything else is outside your agreement. You cannot bind the court to those agreements. What I have said is she is not allowed to go to any HEB in San Antonio, Texas.
Okay.
All right.
And then I have a quick question. I will have to quit my job, right?
Unless you have an employer who's willing to write a letter and say that they are aware of your criminal history and list these items as a part of your criminal history and that they have no concerns about that. And whoever you are providing home health care to, that
Yeah.
their family member is aware of that and they send a letter as well.
Okay, so the people
Understood.
that I work with,
We
they
can
are
talk- we could talk
okay.
about it after.
Okay.
But Judge, I'm clear. I will communicate with her how we can satisfy your requirement.
All right. And where is she asking that her probation be transferred to?
Is it Travis County, Your Honor?
All right. Transfer to Travis County.
Yeah, Travis County.
Court will sentence you to 3 years deferred adjudication.
Sorry, I thought it was
I thought it
two.
was 2.
All right, so let me explain something to everybody. Number one, you do not get to determine what the length of probation is. That is solely in the court's discretion. You all can make recommendations to the court, but anything that's below this line on this piece of paperwork, that is not a part of your plea agreement. And it actually states, note, the parties are not allowed to make binding agreements.
As the hearing progresses, the courtroom becomes a tense stage where every word and decision carries weight. Judge Boyd meticulously examines the defendant's prior convictions and the potential risks of her working in home health care, stressing the impact her actions could have on vulnerable individuals. Initially, it seems like there's a path forward, a probation deal offering a chance to avoid jail and rebuild her life. But after a brief recess, she and her attorney request a reconsideration, hoping to preserve her career. This move, intended to protect her future, instead triggers a dramatic shift. The judge rejects the renegotiation, and what was once a manageable outcome spirals into a far harsher reality. She ends up with a guilty verdict, 21 days in jail, and a permanent felony conviction. Effectively closing doors to her chosen profession and illustrating just how quickly a single decision in court can change the trajectory of a person's life.
It's regarding the length of community supervision or the terms and conditions of community supervision, which are totally dependent upon the court's discretion. The following recommendations do not constitute part of the formal plea agreement. And what is listed? 2 years for the length. TAP evaluation. 150 hours of community service restitution. I don't have to give her 150 hours of community supervision. I could give her, restitution. I could give her 300 hours. The no contact with HEB at Valley High Drive. I can say no contact with HEB throughout the state of Texas. The anti-theft course, I don't have to give that. The reason why I am giving her 3 years deferred adjudication, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm just arbitrarily giving people things. She is charged with theft of property under $2,500 with 2 or more previous convictions, which means that she's been stealing 2 or more times before she even got to the felony level. And according to the stipulations that y'all entered to, she went into HEB, took a Ninja ice maker or Ninja smoothie maker and just put it in the cart and walking it past all points of sale. And it's not as though she's 18. And if she were 18, it would still be wrong. But at some point in time, people should learn you're not allowed to take items from stores unless you paid for them. So should she be getting a minimum of 2 years for on probation? No.
Okay, so I have a question because at first they was offering me this time, sir.
Well, Your Honor.
Probation. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor. We're going to do the deferred probation because it prevents her from being a
Now
convicted
I'm
felon.
asking probation. Probation, are you requesting or recommending anything else? All right, so it will be the felony theft course. Once that's completed, 100 hours will be deemed satisfied.
Thank you.
All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful on this probation?
No, Your Honor. Well,
because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. I'm going to send you to the breakout room and probation will go over conditions with you.
Your Honor, Am I excused?
No, you are not. You need to go into breakout room with probation and make sure that your client understands her conditions.
Understood.
All right, yes.
Upon entering into the breakout room with Ms. Moore, her and her attorney needed a little bit more time to talk because she
Mr. White.
is not really probably wanting to do this.
Then
So they're in the breakout room still discussing whatever. And I called ADA Espinosa to let her know what was going on. So they may be asking for the court's reconsideration.
no. All right. Thank you for letting me know.
Okay, so I'll go back in
Okay.
and await further.
And Lauren is here. I'll put her in breakout room number 2 if you want to tell her what the issue is. All right, Manisha Moore. All right, you entered into a plea yesterday. The court accepted your plea. The court entered a legal sentence. Are you seeking to withdraw that plea?
Yes.
State, the court entered a legal sentence. Are you asking or agreeing to the withdrawal of the plea?
Yes.
And I shouldn't say withdrawal of the plea, but you're asking that the sentence be reconsidered.
Yes.
And you all have reached an alternative agreement. So the previous rights that the court gave you yesterday, those are still in effect. Do you understand? So according to this new plea bargain agreement, the state is asking that you be sentenced under 1244, that your punishment be assessed at 21 days in the Bexar County Jail, and there be $1,000 fine. Is that correct?
That's right.
Is that the new plea agreement? Do you understand that to be the new plea agreement? And has your attorney explained that to you? All right. The court will follow your plea bargain agreement. The court will find you guilty. All right. Court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 21 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's $1,000 fine. Time and money will run concurrently, and there's to be no employment as a home health care provider. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Now that you have a felony conviction, you are not going to be allowed. You work for, they're supposed to run a background check. They're going to see that you have a felony conviction, and they're supposed to proceed accordingly. If they do not proceed accordingly, and if you pick up a theft case from one of the residents, what's going to end up happening is they're going to be sued because they're on notice, and whatever happens to you happens to you. You cannot go through life building your happiness off somebody else's misery. How old are you? You're 36. You know you're not supposed to be taking things that do not belong to you. And for an adult person to go into HEB taking a Ninja smoothie machine that somebody tells me they're, I don't know, a hot item, that item is in the misdemeanor territory range. Like if there's the only theft you had, you would have been in misdemeanor court. The reason why you're in felony court for that theft is because you've committed theft 2 times before. And obviously your career is stealing, and that's what you want to do. But what I'm telling you, steal again, you're going to have another felony. You understand? As I said before, that home healthcare provider thing, you should not be working there. And people always want to know, why are you not letting me work as a home healthcare provider? And you know what? If you had a relative who was a child, who was in a facility where they're a vulnerable person, you would not want a felon taking care of them either. Home healthcare providers, for some reason, these companies have just decided to, we're going to hire anybody. We'll pay them $9.
This case is a stark and unforgettable example of how quickly things can go wrong when decisions in the courtroom aren't carefully considered. What may seem like a minor choice, or an attempt to outsmart the system, can have consequences that reach far beyond the moment, affecting the rest of a person's life. In this situation, the defendant's decision to back out of an initial probation deal in an effort to protect her career completely backfired. Instead of a manageable sentence, she faced jail time, a permanent felony conviction, and the loss of professional opportunities that could have defined her future. It highlights an essential truth: the courtroom is not a place for guessing or shortcuts. Every word, every request, and every action is scrutinized, and misjudging even one step can have lifelong repercussions. This case reminds us that understanding the law, respecting the process, and carefully weighing every decision are not just formalities, they are critical to safeguarding one's future. Ultimately, it's a cautionary tale showing that in court, a single misstep can close doors permanently, leaving consequences that linger far beyond the courtroom walls.